And Krista, I know you guys have been putting out more around stablecoins, in particular, private sector innovation, public-private partnership, lots of ideas here. I feel like that whole dialogue has been upgraded a lot. There's a lot more, openness on these things. Maybe you could just touch on some of the core positions that BA has been taking around this topic.
Yeah, no, I think for us, it's like Perry Ann said, it's educating about the terminology and the fact that there isn't one ideal type of dollar-backed stablecoin, but what we believe should be multiple different ways to do it. I mean, I think USDC is a fantastic model, in terms of having a reserve-backed stablecoin, but there are also some really interesting protocol-driven stablecoins that are out there that, have different features, and we think that should be tested out in the marketplace and let people figure out how to use them. And so it's really just letting people know that digital dollars exist. There are, I think, some policymakers that think the US is far behind and only the Fed can allow for this type of technology to happen, but we can get all of these same benefits by just having a really good sound policy that supports these different initiatives. So we've been talking about that. We've also been trying to break down some of these root causes of, why are people banked and unbanked? And a lot of the time it's because there's a lack of trust, or the fees are just really high, or there's not enough of a balance to do that. Dollar-backed stablecoins or dollar-denominated stablecoins can reduce these barriers, and there might not be off-the-shelf solutions that people are using every day to do that, but that those are under development and they're on the way. And then, it's keeping pace with China. If we don't have the right regulatory environment, or we take new regulatory actions that stifle innovation here in the US, China has a state-run plan and they're implementing it and they're going, and we don't want, I think that the US can stay competitive as long as we have the right environment to support that competition.
I want to ladder off that for a second and really drill into that. I think, at the end of the day, right, the policymakers in Washington, they work for the American people. Their job is to help, build the economy, create opportunities for people, bring people out of poverty, continue to give them a good standard of living, enjoy economic freedom, all these sort of things. And clearly, like, blockchain is this unbelievable opportunity for global economic leadership, global technology leadership. I think the smartest people in the room understand that this is like fundamental new infrastructure for how the world's going to work over the next decade. But in the US, policymakers really seem to be much more focused on the risks, on upgrades to the legacy financial system or legacy financial systems issues. Whereas in China, has been noted, this is a front and center strategic national priority. As you said, it's from President Xi down. It's to every city, every mayor, every major financial institution. They all have a blockchain strategy. There's just an unbelievable amount of effort there, and it doesn't seem to be connecting to leadership on the policy side in the U.S. And I'd be interested in all of your thoughts on that and how we can move the agenda. And by the way, I am not of the view that this is a U.S. versus China thing at all. I certainly believe in free market innovation, private sector innovation, open internet standards, and open internet as a whole. I think the benefits of digital currency are inherently global, and this is about everyone in the world and bringing everyone in the world into a more inclusive financial system. But the U.S. plays a major role in this existing world economic order, and that order is being changed right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The perspective and the majority of the activities happening in Washington today around blockchain technology and digital currencies are about addressing the risk, where we're not having the other half of the conversation, which is realizing the benefits of this technology. And this is why at the Chamber of Digital Commerce, almost 2 years ago, we issued a national action plan for blockchain technology, where we have called on our national leaders in the United States to do just that, to put together an action plan, to put together a strategy on how we're going to lead in the development of blockchains globally. I think it's absolutely imperative for the United States, both economic and national security, to have blockchain technologies developed and built in the United States by US companies. And we must support the private sector's efforts to innovate with crypto and blockchains.
Any other thoughts on that topic?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it would be fantastic to have a coordinated approach. I worry that the government is not maybe its most functional at the moment right now. And so what we have to do is rely on the areas of support and the champions that we have to move the conversation forward. And I think that as we see greater consumer adoption and use of USDC and other cryptocurrencies, you know, I think that the markets can actually prove out and win this one. And when the benefits become so obvious because people are using it every day, then that's when we'll see the types of kind of comprehensive policy change we need. I wish we could have it on the front end. I really do. And I echo and support any efforts we can to make that happen. I'm just not optimistic in the current political environment that's going to happen, but we can still make progress. And I hope that, you know, as new people cycle in and out of our government, that we can get that kind of leadership that we need.
Yeah. John, any last words?
Well, Kristen, I mean, Joe Biden's going to fix everything. As a good Delaware Democrat, I can tell you that. But no, I mean, look, to echo what everyone said, yeah, certainly competitiveness with China is going to be a driving factor. I think obviously China is doing it for entirely different reasons, I would hope, than we are. You know, lack of privacy is not the knock-on effect. It's perhaps the primary goal of that system. But, you know, I think if you look back, and we've said this a billion times, you know, what Clinton did with the Electronic Commerce Act and the internet was useful, and it happened in part because of the things, Jeremy, that you said in your testimony, which I read and it's held up well, things that Jerry Brito has been saying well before he was at CoinCenter, that when you have open networks that allow people to communicate peer-to-peer, it is inevitable that it will grow and things will come of it. So if we accept that inevitability, everybody needs to come together and figure out how we're going to nurture that innovation and then deal with whatever risks come up.